From a school to the State Division of Family and Children Services that might have saved a child's life.
Next case, State versus Cleater Mendez Barrows.
This defendant told school staff that the victim child, who was 7 at the time, had demons in her because she was born out of wedlock.
Instead, that complaint apparently bungled.
We have to ask, do our case managers really understand the significant import, the significant danger when a parent or a step-parent says that child is a demon, that child is possessed?
And a little more than a month later, the violent death of 8-year-old Sarai Barrows, seen here in her funeral announcement. Allegedly at the hands of her stepmother, Natiela Barrows, and father, Claydeer Barrows.
The co-defendant, the wife, struck the child 10 to 20 times on the back of the head, neck, and arms with a wooden rolling pin. Claydeer Barrows arrived home and saw the unresponsive child. He then prayed for about another 20 minutes before he eventually called 911.
Defax later pointed a finger at 2 of their own. The case manager who investigated that prior complaint and her supervisor. But the fired supervisor stood up for herself, telling the Fox 5i team that her former employers had punished the wrong people.
I am not the person who signed off on this case.
Why do you think you were fired then?
Armah asked Defax leadership to look at the records again.
I'm calling for them to go back, dive in, ask those questions.
Through a spokeswoman, Defax tells the I-team it did just that. And the answer came back the same. The agency still says Armah did approve the case for closure, saying it is also worth noting that case closure in our system is a complex process that is extremely secure. So the decision to terminate her employment stands.
Wow. I think that's kind of crazy. I'm very disappointed in the way that, Defax has spun this.
With Armah insisting she had nothing to do with closing that earlier case, that she was actually in training south of Atlanta at the time, we asked Defax for some proof, some documentation of her involvement. The agency gave us this, one line of data. Defax told us this comes from the agency's case management system, showing that Armah closed the case of Claydeer Barrows just over a month before Sarai's death.
I can't believe this is what they produced to you.
So what do you think this is?
A copy and paste, a cover-up. Literally a cover-up, a Word document.
So what you're saying then was that Defax basically concocted, fabricated a record, and gave it to Fox 5 to cover up what they actually did.
Definitely.
Armah, a single mother with 2 sons, spent 7 years working for Defax and had just been promoted to supervisor in October. She said she's already found a new job in a leadership position in the medical field. So this isn't about getting her job back. She says it's about her reputation.
I feel like it's going to come out, the truth. And I would like an apology. It goes a long way.
Armah told us who she suspects actually closed the complaint, and it involves people in higher positions with Gwinnett County Defax. We reached out to some of them but received no response. Sarai's parents remain in jail without bond, both of them indicted last month on murder charges.
So do we know where that one line of data came from? And does that really prove that Armah was the one who closed this case?
Well, it came from Defax officials, and no, not definitively. I showed that to former Defax director Tom Rawlings, and he said it's really not enough, that there ought to be case logs, case narratives in the file. And now we did obtain the file from Defax through open records, but nothing like that came back. It was a lot of pages that were entirely redacted. So we're still asking Defax to produce some records on this.
Thank you all for tuning in to Karen Classified. I hope you guys comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. And I hope you leave your comments down in the comment section below so we can get the conversation going. This is an updated video in regards to 8-year-old little girl by the name of Sarai Barrows. Sarai was homeschooled underneath the care of her stepmother. Her stepmother became upset with her because she played with her toes instead of doing her homeschool work and beat her with a rolling pin. Instead of her calling authorities to get the young child help, she called her husband and asked him what to do, and he told her to pray. At that time, she called 2 Nigerian priests and had them to pray. unfortunately, Sarai succumbed to the beatings. She passed away. Moving forward, now we have 2 caseworkers that they stated failed this child and they fired them. They stated that they closed the case too early and they did not do a thorough investigation. But we are here today because the supervisor of the caseworker is stating, nope, I was not over that case. I did not close that case. In fact, I was away getting training while this was ongoing. It appears to me that the caseworker is telling, it's probably some truth to what she's saying, and they closed the case very quickly and they got rid of them. And in my opinion, I believe because the other caseworker is not speaking out, that she potentially probably was involved with the case, and because the supervisor was no longer there, whoever is over the supervisor oversaw this case and potentially closed it. But you guys, you see where they gave them one line, just one little line showing where she was attached to the file, and it do look suspect. I hope that they go and get a third party to investigate this, because I want the right people to be held accountable for the mishap of this little girl. Not the mishap, but the cause of her demise, because they was not doing a proper investigation. What are your thoughts, you guys? Do you think that because 2 caseworkers were dismissed from the case, that it should be case closed and just focus on the case with the parents? Or do you think all parties involved should be held accountable for this little girl losing her life? Me personally, I believe that whoever closed this case, they need to go seek out that person, because I don't want another child to fall through the cracks and or lose their life because a faulty investigation has been conducted. I don't know, you guys, what are your thoughts in regards to this matter? I believe that they need to go through, they need to review the cases, they also need to review everyone who has had their hands in this. If there was a cover-up, the people that's trying to cover up the information, they also need to be dealt with. There's a lot of different things involving this case that could potentially put other children at risk. And I'm sorry, but I don't want people with this type of judgment and or disregard for human life to be handling anything that has to do with the care and protecting children. Again, what are your thoughts, you guys? Leave your comments down in the section below. Hopefully we can get the conversation going. Until the next video, you guys, stay safe and take care.